Hello friends, it's Erin and I've already set up for April, but we're going to do another one because I want to show you how I like to use the Phomemo m02 mini printer in my bullet journal in a bunch of different ways. Very big thanks to the folks at Phomemo for sending me this printer. Isn't it cute? I picked the pink version, but it does also come in a few different colors. If you're not familiar with the concept of thermal printing, it's a method that uses heat and a special kind of paper to allow you to print things without ever needing any ink. So you'll never have to replace ink on this cutie because it doesn't use any. There are a bunch of different paper types available. I've only got the one for now, but I'm looking at some of the others. And because it's a portable Bluetooth printer, you can charge it up and take it with you on the go and just print to it directly from an app on your phone, which is incredibly convenient. My favorite way to use my Phomemo m02 mini printer is in tandem with Canva. So I will jump into Canva. I've used one of their templates for a to-do list here and just made it black and white. And then I've added some pages underneath that and I'm going through and just adding decorative elements that I think might work well for this vintage kind of academia sort of look that I'm going for. And I've chucked in a full color photograph as well because I just want to see how that prints. This particular thermal printer can only print in one color, which is usually black depending on the kind of paper that you're using. So I wanted to see how it takes those colors and translates them to a black and white picture and see if it still prints in a way that is nice. So I've saved my Canva files as JPEGs and I'm just cropping them in Photoshop to make sure that I'm not wasting any of my precious printer paper. Turn on the device on the side. When it's green like this, it's ready to print. If it's flashing red, you need to charge. This is the Phomemo app, so you can just download this to your device. I have it on my iPad, but they also have an Android version as well. Going into the print images section and photo editing, and then you can choose your file, hit the printer icon, and then hit print in the bottom corner. If you're not connected to your printer, it'll ask you to connect to the Bluetooth there. We'll hit print, and then suddenly I have a to-do list for my journal with zero effort. This is sticker paper, so you can just peel it off and stick it down on your page and you're ready to go. You can just write directly onto the sticker. So I'm gonna add some more of these elements to my book here. Some of them I'm planning to color in to see how that goes. Some of them I'm going to just use as they are. We're going to use these with a bunch of other stuff to make a full April 2022 vintagey academia style bullet journal setup. Let's see how this photo prints, shall we? That's actually better than I expected. You do lose a little bit of detail, of course. I'm actually quite happy with how that's printed. Because this is a mini printer, you have to be a bit careful with your design. So the paper is 52mm wide, but the paper itself is only 5cm. So I'll flip the ruler around for my imperial friends. So you do have to be careful about how your design works. If you needed to print something that was wider than it is tall, then you could set your design sideways within the app. Now I'm just going to go through all of my stickers and washi tapes and all of my supplies and grab out anything that I think will work for this setup. I'm going to speed through this one pretty quickly because we have already set up for April on my channel. I really just wanted to give you an idea of a few different ways that you could use the Phomemo m02 mini printer in your bullet journal to make your life a little bit easier. So I'm starting off with a collage cover page, just making sure the outside of the page is covered so that when I pop this lace paper down, it's got a pretty solid background. I'm using some stickers and some stamps and some paint pens to add my title on here, and then we're going to use some stickers on the bottom part of this lace paper. If you'd like to see more bullet journaling and stationery content from me, don't forget to hit subscribe down below and turn on notifications. You can also find me on Instagram at erinsmith.art. So we'll start off with the moth. I'm going to trim around it. I found out the hard way that it's actually better to separate the sticker from the backing while you still have one of those edges. Otherwise, because it's quite thin paper, it can be a little bit tricky to peel up. So I like to peel the sticker off the backing and then trim it. I'm gonna pop the moth sticker down in the bottom right here, and I'm also going to add the little camera as well. But first, we're gonna color in the moth. So these are Tombow dual brush pens. And they are going down pretty well. This paper's a little bit shiny, so they're not as saturated as they would be if you were just drawing directly onto regular paper, but it does still work really well. I actually think maybe an alcohol marker would work better here, which is unusual. I wouldn't usually recommend you reach for an alcohol marker in your bullet journal at all, but this is an instance where it might work better. As always, there are links in the description as well as my blog post that accompanies this YouTube video to everything I've used to make this bullet journal layout. So if something has caught your eye, it's very likely that you can also get your hands on it. Here is the April cover page. So clearly you can add decorative elements, that's awesome. What about functional elements? So on this spread I'm going to have on the left page a calendar, and on the right page is going to be my habit tracker. If you've ever set your habit tracker up to be a bunch of little calendar shapes and then you color in each day that you complete a habit, then this is for you. So I have made this little calendar set up. This is in Canva as well. I've masked out some of the days so that it exactly fits for April 2022, the exact number of days because it starts on a Friday and ends on a Saturday. And I'm printing this 7 times, so I'm going to use 1 for my calendar setup on the left page, and I'm going to use the other 6 on the habit tracker side. And this is going to save you from drawing all of those lines. And if you'd like to get your very own M02 mini printer, I can get you 10% off with my discount code Erin Smith. There's a link to the website down in the description. That is an affiliate link, just so you know, so I'll make a little commission if you make any purchases through that link. It's totally up to you, but it does help to support my little YouTube channel and blog, so I would very much appreciate it. Have to admit, that was faster than drawing out all of those lines. Of course, if you wanted to, you could add the numbers for each day within your design as well before you print it. I decided I wanted to leave them blank, and I'm just going to add them myself on the left page here. The Sharpie pen notoriously doesn't smudge, but I managed to smudge it on this shiny paper, so keep that in mind. You need to be a little bit careful with anything that you've added on top of the shiny sticker paper before you get in there with erasers or smudge it with your hand or anything like that. Within the Phomemo app, there are also a bunch of included templates. There's a clip art gallery and frames and stuff like that. So I wanted to add something, just a bit of something for my headings. And I really like the look of this floral kind of circular frame over here. So I'm going to use that one, print that out. The printer comes with a little micro USB cable that you can just plug into any USB port and charge the device up from there. The charge lasts a really long time. I've had this for probably about 6 weeks and I've only charged it once. I've used it a few times, so that's pretty good. I'm just going to use this for my habit tracker header. And something similar on the other side, I'm going to use this garland instead. Obviously this is on white paper, so it stands out quite a bit from the darker backdrop, but they do have translucent paper rolls available as well. So they have glittery ones, they have different colors that you can print on, so you have options out there. It doesn't have to just be white stickers all the time, which is very cool. If you've ever left a receipt in a hot place, like in a car or in the sun somewhere in your house, and you've lost the ink on it, it's faded, keep in mind that's something that can happen with thermal printed ephemera in your bullet journal as well. I've only had my printer for a couple of months, so I can't speak to any fading as yet, but I've heard that they can start to fade a little bit after around a year. And if you have them in hot and humid conditions, then they can fade even faster than that. So do be a bit careful if you're using this stuff in your journal with where you leave your journal. Try to keep it nice and cool and dry. And maybe avoid any really important information being printed, just to make sure that it's extra permanent. This next page is my gratitude log, just adding some decoration, and I wanted to see, rather than the Tombow, which is a water-based marker, I wanted to see how paint pens go with this stuff instead. So I'm using my ARTISTRO brush tip paint pens, and the matte ones, which are the ones with the white barrel, worked really, really well. The ink from the thermal printer still showed through the way it would with a water-based marker. The metallic ones are super opaque, so they actually covered over the top of those marks, so I'm just kind of filling things in a bit scratchily here on purpose to still see some of the ink coming through. Not that it's ink, still see some of the thermal markings coming through. In the end, it was actually a very cool effect. Gonna use another one for my gratitude heading here. And this facing page is for my brain dump. So we're going to do pretty much the same thing, just use a couple of these decorative stickers and add on the paint pens as well. The colors definitely come out more saturated with a paint pen, but that makes perfect sense. I think the combination of paint pens on the translucent paper or a clear sticker paper would be really good. I think it could make a really cool mood tracker too, to print a bunch of similar doodles and color each one in a particular color for each day. And then you have that beautiful artistic mood tracker kind of element without having to be good at doodling or spend the time to draw a bunch of doodles. You can just print them, stick them, and carry on your merry way. I really think this printer would be useful for anyone who doesn't have a lot of free time but still wants to have a really pretty and aesthetic bullet journal. And one last spread, this is going to be a weekly, and this is for all of my friends who do not enjoy hand lettering or don't like the way their hand lettering looks. You can actually see on the Monday that there was a little skip in the printing. There's a bit of a line through the bottom of the M. Apparently that can happen when your Bluetooth connection isn't super duper strong. I don't mind it, I don't think it looks bad, but if that's something that would bother you, then maybe check your connection before you print things. I've seen that happen with regular inkjet printers and stuff too, so you know, it's just a printery thing to happen. So once again, I've used Canva to make this lettering happen. I've just picked one of my favorite script fonts, made myself a little JPEG file that I airdropped from my computer to my iPad, printed it through the Phomemo app, and now I'm just trimming around the outside of each of these lettering stickers. Again, this would be way cooler on a translucent paper and maybe on a lighter washi tape. I've gone with a bit of contrast on purpose so that the lettering stands out. But now you need never worry about having bad handwriting again, and also I don't think you'd have as many potential spelling errors or writing the wrong day when you can print things. Sometimes if you're really careful, you can peel a sticker back up without damaging the page, so you know, you get a few more goes this way, I guess. There we have it. This is another version of April 2022 that you could use if you weren't feeling my Twilight vibes from my last video. Hopefully this gave you some ideas of how you can incorporate a thermal printer into your very own bullet journal. If you made it all the way to the end of this video, leave me your favorite flower emoji down below. I will catch you again in another video next week. Until then, thank you so much for being here. I'll see you soon.